Alright, guys, I guess I can't avoid it any longer. I guess we have to get down to the catacombs eventually, so we might as well go ahead and do it now. Yeah, I'll go down here. I want a fire weapon, and it'd be nice to have an Anorlando. I think it'd be a little more effective than this toothpick that I've been swinging up to this point. So let's go ahead and head on down there. Alright, now though this isn't really necessary, I'm going to go ahead and get a divine enchantment on my weapon. It's a faith-based enchantment, and I don't have a faith-based character, but what a divine enchantment will do is allow me to kill the skeletons for good down in the catacombs. One of the NPCs, one of the merchants, will actually tell you as much to avoid them reassembling. Get a divine enchantment. It'll actually be a increase in damage based on what I have right now with the sword also, so I mean that's cool to make it more effective. It's not like I really have to sacrifice anything. Let's see, I'm doing what, 192 with the two-handed? We'll go ahead and get this thing enchanted and we'll come back and look. 203 with the rolling. So yeah, we'll go ahead and upgrade this whatever we can. I have farmed quite a bit of green titanite. I have enough to get this to +5 divine, and also have plenty to get my fire weapon to +5 fire. And I also have the large fire ember on me, which once I deliver it to the blacksmith at the bottom of the catacombs, I will be able to get my fire sword to +6 on up. As long as I get it to +6 with him, any chunks that I get after that, I can upgrade it the rest myself at the bonfire.
That's an odd ember you have there. I know what you're thinking, but I'm no good with those. It won't be easy, but I'm afraid you'll have to look for someone
I believe
else.
he's referring to that large fire ember also. Right now, I'm worried about getting this divine weapon. Now, I think divine goes all the way up to +10. I think there's a large divine ember actually down in the Tomb of the Giants, past the catacombs, where we're going. Even farther down in a little side room guarded by huge giant skeletons. I think that's the large divine ember, which allows you to get divine +10, which you need for the trophy. One or two of the enchantments only go to +5. They start with a +5 weapon, then they only go to +5. So, they don't upgrade 15 total times like the rest of the weapons. Like a lightning +5, you have to get your sword to +10 first, which requires titanite chunks. And then the lightning enchantment itself requires more titanite chunks.
I'll be seeing you. Be careful.
And an actual slab to get it to lightning +5, for example. But it's a 15 total upgrades. And that's true with almost all the weapons, but I think crystal and maybe raw. I don't remember the other one. In fact, there may be a couple more enchantments that only go to essentially 10 total upgrades. I don't know. With each ember you get, you can, kind of figure that out. I know standard reinforcement goes all the way up to +15, but you have to have, like, the very large ember. You have to get the large ember from the depths and the very large ember from New Londo to do that. Let's see, what am I doing? Actually, my one hand is 178 now. So I'm getting about an extra 40, almost 50 points of damage. That's cool. That's cool. So that's definitely an increase. That's a bonus. And that'll get me to the bottom of the catacombs. Like I said, I'm going to turn this into a fire weapon anyway. And this wasn't absolutely necessary. I could have killed the necromancers, then worked on their skeletons that are usually guarding them. But just to avoid all that, it was like, hey, man. Hey, we'll just go ahead and make this divine weapon. What's up with that? Right on, man. Okay. Let's go down here. We'll go ahead and take a little shortcut. We found all those chests way, way back when. Beginning of the game. And I don't think we're going to have to wail on these skeletons like 15, 20 times now to get rid of them. Hopefully we can, let's see, two-shot them. I was thinking hopefully we could one-shot them, and that was asking a bit much. We could probably one-shot them with a backstab, actually. Or real close. I know they're really, really susceptible to fire. Which you would expect from skeletons, so, even this big guy right here, just a standard fireball, just rapes his face. So, All right, we got the wing spear here, and then we have like an all-time favorite for a lot of Dark Souls players. If you're looking for an ultra great sword, this Zweihander, this is top notch. Dark Souls 2, not so much, because I think the stat requirements are different in Dark Souls 2. But I notice it's not as popular. But in the first one, this one, oh man, Zweihander, it's really a great sword. It's light, doesn't weigh much more than just your standard great sword. All right, and it's got really low stat requirements. Once it's fully upgraded and buffed, it does ridiculous damage. The hitbox is about as big as, oh, I don't know, half the map. You know, it's just totally ridiculous. It's got a kind of a slow moveset, I guess, but I mean, yeah, its upside definitely outweighs any of its downside. It's a great weapon. You know, I'm doing the Moonlight Greatsword build here, but it would kind of be fun to do a Zweihander build also. You can really play with it. I think it requires, what, 20-something strength and only like 10 dexterity. It requires not much more, honestly, than like the Claymore. Just a few extra points of strength. And once you get those minimum stats met, you can dump the rest into, say, just endurance or whatever. You go a straight, you know, strength melee type build if you want. Dump a bunch into vitality, and it's effective. And if you want anything to complement it, whatever, use Pyromancy, which doesn't require any stat investment. That's basically what I'm doing here. I mean, I am putting intelligence into this build, but specifically for the Moonlight Greatsword, because it has minimum requirements and it really, really buffs the damage. It's got, I think, an S scaling in intelligence. Wow. Wow. Right, let's see, what are we doing? Backstabs. I couldn't read the damage there, but enough to get rid of him. Enough for me. Alright, so get down here, and essentially, just every few feet or so, we're going to have these skeletons just spawning on us, assembling themselves. There's a necromancer pretty close by that's responsible for all this. We'll take care of him. But once the necromancers are dead, the skeletons can be killed by any means. Doesn't matter. You can use any kind of weapon. You don't have to have a divine one like I'm using here. But they'll still spawn after using the bonfire and stuff. In other words, they'll raise on their own the first time. They just won't have the necromancer there to keep re-raising them once you get rid of them. But yeah, you could farm these guys, actually. They'll drop the whatever that shield is called, the red something or another shield. You can also find a copy of that shield, I believe, down there in the graveyard. I think we got one much earlier in the game. And they drop scimitars and falchions. I think the bigger skeletons drop the falchions more often than not, or the ones that are just two-handing just the sword by itself. I think those are usually falchions. And they will also grant humanity when you kill them, occasionally, just like a hollow. And that's very cool down here. Notice I came down here with none. I, of course, lost all my humanity at the Undead Asylum, which I fully expected to. I'm really not even mad about it, because I kind of figured that was going to happen going in. Alright, oops, forgot to turn this handle, didn't I? And these will open a special secret door in the wall. Allow me to venture forth. There's at least one more of those, somewhere down here. I'm not overly familiar with this area. I do know where the stuff's at, though. I mean, at least once I get to the area where it's at, I know how to find it. But as far as just roaming around this area free and clear, I'm not all that familiar with it. It'd really be nice to be able to two-hit them with one-handed attacks. Alright, so this guy here, alright, he's responsible for raising all those down in that general area. Their area of influence, it's not all that big, but there's quite a few of these guys strategically placed throughout this entire map to constantly raise the skeletons all over the place to harass you. Alright, so once we get him out of the way, these skeletons will go down, and essentially, if I didn't have a divine weapon, I could take this guy out here and deal with these skeletons. The skeletons that I just fought earlier, the necromancer that was down there in the room with the turn handle, I could have essentially run past all those skeletons, gone there, and taken him out real quick, and then hope to get through the skeletons with whatever weapon I had. So a divine isn't necessary, but it certainly makes things a little easier. You can walk through here with, you don't have to be quite as cautious. And now I'm going through here with the idea of finding everything. Okay, if I was just gonna fast track through this place, there's essentially a jump. I think it's on that ledge directly across from me. You can just back roll, and then if you time your roll again, basically about the time that you land, you can survive. Where that little message was right there, I believe you can essentially fast track through this entire area. But you skip everything, all right? So I'm, you know, kind of have it in mind. I would probably honestly actually do that, or get to another area where I know you can make a safe jump and just get down there to where the Titanite demon is, maybe kill him, and then go on about my business. But there's a lot of stuff between here and there. Some spells to get, a ring, let me think, quite a few weapons, just stuff. So we'll go ahead and loot the place. It'll take a little longer, but it's cool. Might actually get rewarded for it too, because there's a decent amount of souls to be had. And like I say, maybe some of these skeletons, I'll get lucky and they'll slide me a humanity here and there too. I heard another one assemble somewhere. I know I did. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't swing any earlier. Those swords they have, the scimitars and the falchions, they cause bleeding, so be real careful about that. I can probably take a hit or two, but if bleeding builds up and they get me with that would probably do me in right there. Alright. Well, that's, other than one or two more strays, that's pretty much it for this little spot right here. Those are some really well-detailed skeletons, in my opinion. They actually look like real skeletons. That's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of the graphics in a lot of areas in this game. Especially the texturing and the appearance and the lighting and stuff on your equipment. The way your sword shimmers and reflects light and all that kind of stuff. I think they did an amazing job with that. Also considering this entire game, there's really no loading screens. Just, it's crazy. Amazing job. Alright. That's it for the loot in this little spot, at least what I can reach right now. Okay, that leads back down to the entrance, so let's go over here. Now, we obviously can't cross that bridge, if they make that pretty clear, right? But, once again, here's another, what would you call it? Necromancer or whatever. Get rid of him from a distance, now all of a sudden these skeletons can be taken care of. Alright? So sure enough, bow really comes in handy in situations like this. Those guys can't do anything with that bridge any more than I can, so I'm not even worried about them. They'll probably fall to their own death. So gung-ho about getting to me that they'll kill themselves trying to do so. Alright, get these talking heads out of the way. They essentially let off, I guess it's more kind of like a Wrath of God, basically. Alright, stay down. There we go. Now, I'm a little cautious here. I really am. There's no point in pushing it. This is not a good place to die right here, because it seems like when I die in an area like this, when I come back to try to get my stuff, it seems like the enemies are twice as fast and twice as aggressive. Basically to make sure that I don't. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, so... Alright, here's another little turn handle, but this one controls that bridge down there. Alright, so now we got that free and clear. I think those skeletons have done themselves in. Notice, I don't know when it happened, but there's a humanity on my ticker now. I'm killing one of those skeletons. I'll definitely take that. Now, we're really not all that far from the next bonfire. Not really. See another bridge down there. That door down to our right leads to the next bonfire path, I think. Something of note here. It helps to have a lot of poise here, and I'll show you why, okay? This little hidden path, you can fall through the floor here. All right, you fall down, and essentially you immediately start to scare off those crystal lizards down there. They'll drop twinklings and some other random Titanites. But if you have a lot of poise, those little stabby traps there, they won't do an exceptional amount of damage, all right? But if you have a lot of poise, they won't even hinder you in your moving, so you can essentially just run right through them. And whether they do damage or not, whatever, but you can get straight to those turtles. I got stunned and staggered too much to actually get to them, but just to show you, all right? And come back up here, and this is where we picked up that soul a minute ago, all right? And it's where the turn handle was for the bridge, right there. Okay, so we just backtracked a little bit. But anyway, just that tunnel's there, and if you don't get the turtles, but you really feel a need for them, then you can use the bonfire, which we'll get to shortly, and then backtrack your way back up to this door right here, and keep redoing it. They will respawn with the bonfire until you kill them. Once you've killed them, they'll never respawn anymore. At least not for the rest of the playthrough. Okay, and that's a trap. So if you get too close, it's going to stab you in the face. So we'll inch up on that. All right, and the next little turn handle is a little farther down. There's a secret door right there in front of us. That friendly skeleton right in front of it. All right, but we have to get down here. I think there's some loot in here. Yeah, this is... A few more skeletons will probably spawn us in here. Yep. Slowly remembering this area. Just run in here and try to grab that, though. Yeah, that can be drama. I think these statues are traps also. Yep, sure are. Right on. Okay, I actually do kind of remember this. All right. Was that loot back there? It sure was. Give me that. If I don't need it, it's something I can feed, the big worm guy. Framped. Yes, Framped, the big worm with the wormy mustache thingy going on in his face. Yeah, it's awesome. Alright. Bait them into dropping. Alright, and here's the necromancer responsible for all these skeletons here on this circular stairway. Alright, and then this will, you see that loot there directly above my head? We have to make a trick jump to go get that. I think that's the Great Scythe, which a lot of players actually are really fond of that weapon too. Alright, and that's it. I think that's a good cutoff point. Alright, and from here we will get on to the rest of the Catacombs on the next one. Alright, and if you want to catch up on the Let's Play, click the top box. And if you want to catch all my videos, click the bottom box. And if you want to support the Ninja Flips by subscribing, hit that button right there over my head. It'll take you right there. All right, thanks for watching, guys. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. And we'll start from right here. Bye-bye.